It's time to react to your Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 2 theories and predictions. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today, I've collected some of your theories and predictions for Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 2, aka Episodes 5, 6, and 7 of this final season, and I'm going to give you my reaction, my thoughts on y'all's theories. Now, before I get into this, hit that like button, comment down below some of your predictions for Volume 2, and of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want extra content, Patreon is the place to be from the world of Stranger Things and beyond. Get yourself some film stocked merch, linked in the description down below. It's only on sale through the end of the year, so be sure to get yours while you can. But I have some thoughts about some of these theories. So about a week or so ago, I posted on my community tab saying to share your theories and predictions for Volume 2, and I'd make a video reacting to them. I've done this in the past with theories and predictions from other fandoms, and I believe I've done it for Stranger Things in the past, but now we're doing it specifically for Volume 2. There were like 300 plus submitted. I took about 12. I'm gonna read them, throw them up on screen, and give you my thoughts. This first one says, I think the reason why Caleb says he had a different ending than everyone else is because his final scene will be at the movie theaters with Max. So I haven't seen this clip from Caleb that you referenced, but if he did say this, he could just be trolling us because he loves to troll. But the other option there, maybe he dies. Obviously, I don't want that, but maybe he's referring to, oh, I have a different ending because I'm not in the picture. That'd be devastating. It'd be a bit out of left field and shocking if they were to kill Lucas at this point. I mean, they teased that to happen based on some of the shots from the trailers leading up to Vol 1. Now we know he made it out and he's fine, he's alive heading into Volume 2, but man, could you imagine Lucas dies? That would be truly devastating. Now, just because he could and I think will have the Lumax movie date scene, I don't know if that means that'll be his last scene. I think that the last scene will be with the OG kids, the survivors, playing D&D or doing something, that riding bikes into the sunset, literally anything like that. I think they'll have a moment together. So I haven't seen this quote, but that's interesting. I think he definitely will get that date at the movies. This next one says, Will is screaming run in Episode 5, which is Shock Jock, because Vecna is coming back after Will using his powers. The others are able to run, but Will is taken by Vecna. That's where the trailer line, "You're gonna help me one last time," comes in. So I really like the idea of Will getting like reverse possessed by Vecna in a sense, where Vecna is puppeteering Will, okay? So Will looks to us like he's using his powers, but it's Vecna in full control of body and mind. And Will's just, tied up in the back seat of his own mind to go full Gen V Season 2 on you guys. I think that would be really unique. It would also potentially lead to some devastating moments as our characters are watching Will attack them. It'd be dark for sure, but that line, "You're gonna help me one last time," I think you're probably onto something there. I definitely subscribe to that notion, and I should have a final predictions video coming out this week where I'm gonna say something very, very similar to this. I fully bought into this idea of Vecna doing just that. He's tapping into Will. We saw Will use Vecna's powers. Well, now Will is going to be sort of a body used for Vecna, and it's going to be tragic in a sense, crazy, dark. I definitely think that run moment could be Will yelling run because he senses via the hive mind Vecna is about to overtake him, so he's warning everyone to get the hell away from him because there's nothing that he's going to be able to do to stop it. This next one here says, Robin is in trouble. One does not simply make plans for Enzo's. One does not simply walk into Mordor. I was actually at a holiday party with some family friends recently, and someone brought this up. They were like, I think Robin's gonna die because of the whole Enzo's mention. I don't know if I buy it. Obviously, Hopper and Joyce were gonna have an Enzo's date in Season 3 that fell through because Hopper died. Technically, not really. That is interesting. They brought up Enzo's. Does that mean that one of Vicky or Robin will die? I don't know. I think almost that line was included to remind us, hey guys, Enzo's exist. We might get a little dropper action there later in the season. I think Robin could be in trouble for other reasons unrelated to Enzo's, but it is funny what people pick up on because, when I heard Enzo's, I was like, Chopper endgame, let's go. But people are like, ooh, that could mean Robin bites the dust. So if Robin dies, there might be an Enzo's curse. This next one says Episode 6, which is Escape from Camazotz. Vecna realizes Holly is acting strange, and then she goes missing, knowing it's Max doing it. He then uses Will as a spy to see where Max is and sends demodogs to kill her, and that's what all those scenes from the hospital are. I like this theory. I definitely think those demos that are, hauling ass down the hospital to attack are not coming after Vicky or Robin. They're just in the way. They are on a mission to target and find Max, likely related to what's going on in Camazotz. I think you make a very compelling point, and I agree. I think we're going to get one of the coolest sequences in Stranger Things where simultaneously we're watching these Demogorgons attack Max's body in the right side up. Lucas is running around with her trying to get out of there, and at the same time in Camazotz, Max is going through a bunch of different memories with Holly trying to find their way out of Camazotz, and it's going to be well edited. I hope there's a sick needle drop. Like, it could be all-time stuff. Sean Levy's directing, so we know the man's going to come in and cook because he tends to do that. I'm so excited for that episode. I don't want to overlook the the others because I think that 5 and 7 are going to be great too, but Camazotz, Escape from Camazotz, all eyes are on that one.
If you want to escape Camazotz.
This next one here says Max will escape Camazotz and tell Kali some of the worst of Henry's memories she saw, maybe the cave memories, and Kali will make Vecna have visions of those memories, and they will use that as part of a bigger plan to destroy him. I like this. Kali's back for some reason, and it would make sense that if Max escapes, which she kind of has to in order to progress the plot forward because of how much valuable information she possesses, I feel like she has to get out in order to relay that to our gang, and if Kali's still alive and there, they could utilize her powers to maybe mess with Vecna, the Mind Flayer, etc. We'll see. I think I could see it happening. Or, hear me out, Kali's able to teach this ability somehow to Elle. We know Elle has been able to use her powers in more innovative ways. That's even how the Duffers described it in an interview pre-Volume 1. We've seen her, she's gotten stronger. What if she has become strong enough to somehow master that ability? And that's Kali's role, right? Kali teaches Elle, and then maybe Kali dies or goes away, but it's not Kali doing this to Vecna. It's 11 doing it to Vecna / Henry. I think that would be the coolest option here. Like, Kali passes on some wisdom, you know, they train a little bit. There's a scene we've seen where Kali is standing next to 11 in the radio station. Could this be her training her? Like, who knows? I don't know if they have enough time, but Elle, she's extremely powerful, so I feel like it's something she could maybe adapt. Who's to say? But I think that with Henry having access to those powers, you know, being able to manipulate within the mind, that's something I think 11 could maybe unlock. Only time will tell. Kind of a running theory I have just sort of come up with on the fly here, but there's definitely potential for Kali to be involved without physically getting involved, just mentally. This next one says, I truly believe no one will get killed off. The Duffers just don't seem to be able to. Is it a hot take to say I'm okay with this? I know that I've gone off before and been like, they gotta kill somebody to feel the stakes, but I don't want to witness any of these characters die. I think someone's gonna go, so I'll disagree. I think they're gonna kill someone, but it wouldn't like shock me if they didn't. There have been plenty of film franchises or movies, or excuse me, seasons of TV that have gotten to the end and no major characters really died. Stranger Things has never been a show all about killing a bunch of characters, but because there's no season 6, right? This is it. The characters aren't being saved for anything, and so that's kind of why I think the death predictions have gone crazy. There's no holding back anymore, right? These characters don't have to be saved for a couple more seasons. This is it. So I think someone's gonna go. I think multiple characters are gonna go. I have a death predictions tier list, an updated one coming out or is already out as of filming this. I don't even know. But you do make a good point. I'm not going to argue. The Duffers seem to get cold feet. They did it with Hopper. They did it with Max. Next one says, what if Jonathan is actually holding the ring for Hopper to give to Joyce? So I saw this theory come up a few days after Volume 1 dropped. My fiance Cam actually brought it up to me. Very interesting point. We all assume, oh, it's going to be for Nancy, but at the same time, what if Hopper secretively told Jonathan to acquire this ring? It would make sense. That's going to be his stepson once, you know, Joyce and Hopper eventually get married. So that could make a lot of sense, and it feels like those two characters, right, Hopper and Joyce, are at a much better place in terms of marriage, but I also don't mind if that ring is saved for the epilogue, or who knows, they're two young lovers, maybe they just get engaged in Volume 2, and that would be nuts. It wouldn't be like something I predicted coming into the season, but anything's possible, so I'm totally okay with this ring being for Hopper. I think it makes more sense, but we'll see what they end up doing with it or not. Next up, we got one that says, we're gonna get a scene mirroring Joyce and Hopper finding Will in Season 1, Episode 8, except with Mike and 11 finding Holly. Ooh, could you imagine if it's Mike, 11, and a couple other characters finding all the kids in the spires? Do you think all the kids are gonna make it out, or there are gonna be some casualties, some losses? We'll see. I would love it if we heard, you know, when it's cold, I'd like to die again, and we get a sort of parallel, and this time it's maybe even Nancy involved as well. So Nancy finding her younger sister and Mike, like the two siblings, instead of it being, you know, 11, it's the two siblings finding their younger sister. I think that would be maybe the most powerful scene in that moment. 11 can be there, but I feel like if it's gonna really parallel, it should be the two siblings standing over Holly, embracing her as she wakes up. So yeah, that would be sad. I mean, I'd probably just cry because of the beauty of the music they probably end up using. But no, I kind of am here for any parallel callback reference to Season 1 because it's full circle, right? It's Season 5, I'm always down for a good old-fashioned callback. Now, this next one says, Kali will die in Volume 2. I'm not sure which episode, but I don't think she will be used to fight Vecna because it would feel cheap and unearned. To a certain extent, I agree. I think it would be weird to see Will, Kali, and Elle, literally 3 of them walk up to Vecna and then they just fight him like it's Avengers Endgame. I don't know if I'm here for that sort of superhero showdown, but if there's a way where Kali can pass wisdom on to 11, and Will can be incorporated, but it's like just 11 via Vecna. I think that's going to be the most satisfying. But I've always said I'm more intrigued by how our characters can outsmart the Upside Down, Vecna, Mind Flayer, as opposed to out-physicaling them, right? Winning in a fist fight. I'm more intrigued by the plan they cook up, and I think they'll have something up their sleeve. We know she's here now, so it wouldn't be like crazy, but I think there is a world where she can maybe earn some respect from us in these next few episodes as a character, and we could be more accepting of her being involved in that final fight. These next two I'm going to read together because they are connected in a way. One says, I've held onto this theory that Dustin could be getting a Vecna vision similar to Max in season 4, but instead of Billy showing up, it'll be with Eddie. I'm semi-delusional in parentheses. And then shout out Matt, he said we will see new footage of Joseph Quinn in volume 2. Honestly, I agree with you guys. I think we're going to see, to some capacity, an Eddie flashback or vision. I don't know if it'll be like Vecna haunting Dustin. I think it might just be Dustin has a nightmare. Dustin has a flashback or vision, a reminiscing scene where he's thinking back on fond memories. They could even save it for the finale, but I do think Joseph Quinn will have a scene. There's just no way he's not going to be in it, in my opinion. Every time a character comes in and they become a fan favorite, they return, even if they're killed off. Bob had some scenes in season 3. Billy came back for season 4. Even though it was a vision, I think Joseph Quinn's Eddie has to be in this season at some point. We're running out of time, only 4 episodes left, but I definitely think he could be in, The Bridge. Hell, he could be featured in Camazotz. He could be in the memory. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen or who could show up in Camazotz. So I think we could certainly see some new footage of Joseph Quinn. Likely, to the first point, could be involved with Dustin. This next one's wild. It says, I think Will is going to kill Jonathan in episode 7 on accident. Could you imagine with the second to last episode of the whole show, Will loses control of his powers or is possessed and kills Jonathan? Kills his own brother? There's no coming back from that. That would be traumatizing, the most traumatizing event in the show. It'd be the darkest moment in Stranger Things. I just think that wouldn't lose me, but damn, that would be something twisted. Could you imagine? I can't even fathom them doing that. I don't know how I would react. I would be stunned. I have no words if Will killed his own brother. What? And the final one here from Tess says, I still feel there's going to be a time reset. Once the particles are gone from the right side up, including out of kids, and the gate is closed, time will reset to just as Will is taken. Everyone who dealt with Upside Down will have memories, but able to live normal lives. So you're saying basically every character who survives, which I'm assuming is most of them, will be transported back to 1983. So like the timeline will reset to November 6, 1983, but like Mike, Lucas, Dustin, all of them maintain the same age. So in this new timeline, the versions of them that are searching for Will when he's missing the Upside Down don't exist. And like one Mike Wheeler exists. It's just the Mike who's older now. I think it would get a little complicated. That's my only worry there is time travel is not a real thing. And so whenever it's brought up in media and they all have different rules, it can get messy. It can get complicated, convoluted. That's my fear. If they were to do something like that, it might not work. I mean, yeah, it would be kind of shocking as well to see Mike, Lucas, all of them back in 1983, having lived 4 years, I believe, past that date, to go back in time. Would there be duplicates of them? Like, that's where it would get a little confusing, I think. But just, I know they're going to do something with dimensions. With Einstein-Rosen with the wormhole, some sort of time travel, some sort of dimensional play. Is that more so referring to, like, the Mind Flayer's history? How we know he's conquered past dimensions? Is it the Upside Down is just another dimension? Is it just that simple? Or is there something grander at play, or something that is going to change the show as we know it? And you might be onto something. Would you guys be satisfied with that being the ending? A time reset where everyone goes back to 1983, but they remember the journey they went on, but it's just them. It would be a swing for sure, and I think they can make it work, but it would take a lot. I mean, it would be challenging to the viewer for sure, and so I'm just trying to imagine how they pull that off in a satisfying way as I read through this. Man, that could be a powerful ending. It would be a big swing, though, and man, that would be crazy. But yeah, that does it for reacting to your Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 2 theories and predictions. I might do this again for the finale if you guys would be interested. But let me know in the comments down below your theories, your predictions for these next 3 episodes that come out in only a matter of days now. Of course, stay tuned for my coverage of Volume 2 with reactions and a full-blown breakdown. Lots of content in the world of Stranger Things coming as we round out this year. But thank you guys so much for being here. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.